like use the other one at 1 or 2 times a week.
Good morning. Good morning, lovelies. This is Joni Rogers Kante, your CEO, founder, and first distributor of SeneGence International. And I'm joined again today by another original distributor, an OG, Jeri Taylor-Swade. Good morning, Jeri.
Good morning.
Or it could be afternoon, depending upon what time zone you're in. So distributors, we've had Jeri on our podcast before, and we were talking about some of the memories that we had, and of course Jeri's presentation on creating a legacy and her take on that. And we never really had the chance to talk to her about her work days or how she would guide new distributors and up-and-coming leaders. So we'd like to do that today in part 2. So Jeri, could you share with us, knowing you're a queen, knowing that you have a downline in all of our countries, I believe, how you spend your days as a global direct sales manager?
Ooh, I like that title. Now I just live up to it, right? I find that I do spend time on the team. You know, our team is big and our team is around the world, and so I have to take into consideration the time zone sometimes when I want to talk to somebody, or if I'm doing something that I want to be a team event, whether it's a Zoom call or whatever, I have to keep in mind that there's different time zones where my team lives. So I've come up with a plan that usually around 5 p.m. my time is good for everybody around the world to jump in if it's like a Zoom call or something like that. So I work on that, and then I also have a business of my own. So my business is something that I don't want to let go. I want to keep going and going and going and growing and growing and growing, and myself, and in sales and sponsoring and also personal growth, because I figure that is a real big part of my business is personal growth, because the more I grow and the better I become, then I become a better leader, I become a better business person, I become a better distributor, and I become a better salesperson. I mean, we are in sales, all of those things. We have a lot, we wear a lot of hats. So I balance it in the morning when I get up. I always do my personal time with God and spending time just feeding my brain, and feeding my brain with spiritual things. And then later on in the day, I feed my brain with other things too, like personal development things. And I ship products, and I talk to customers, and I do all those things that every distributor does, because we're the marketing person. We're the, we do everything. When you have a corporation like SeneGence, there's leads for each part of every department, but when you're a distributor, you are it for everything. And so you have to balance that. And part of learning how to be a good distributor over years and years and years of time is trying to balance all of that. And of course, you teach that all the time, the balance wheel. And I've taught it myself sometimes in when you've asked me to, in the balance wheel, in that we do have to have a balanced life. But I'm talking about balance in business right now, and your business has to be balanced as well. So if you have a team, it can't be all about team. And if you have a team and a business of your own, which all of us do, it can't all be just about your business, because then your team feels neglected, or they're not getting the leadership that you need to give them. And so it's a balance. This last 3 months, more than 3 months for us in Washington State, it's an unprecedented time in so many ways. And I have to admit that I have a pretty good attitude, and I have a pretty positive attitude most of the time. but there's probably been about 3 days in this 3-month period of time when I can identify that, man, it was tough for me. It was hard for me. I was fighting the norm. I wanted it to be normal again. And I wanted everything to be just the way it was before. But I realized that for all of us, this time has been, and for me too, we always have to adjust. Like our life is always about adjusting and, facing the new things that come your way, and how are you going to face them, and what are you going to do with it? And for me, this time for my business, and I know that for a lot of businesses that are SeneGence businesses and distributors, we've had to adjust because my way of doing business is person to person, face to face, talking to people, going out and meeting people, wowing people, and then booking them and then bringing them in for a demo. It's that progression that I've always done, and doing venues, which I don't do that often, but I look forward to those venues to get new distributors and to get new customers and to meet new people and have new conversations. And so for me, it's been very difficult because I'm an I personality. I'm an ID, but I'm an I, like I need people. And so this adjustment has been very difficult. So what my business looks like now in the last 3 months compared to what it was before is totally different, but it's the same business. It's just adjusting to a new way of doing things. And I had never been one that sold online. I wasn't one of those people that had a huge Instagram, bless you, Instagram account where I sold product online and things like that. I had a presence online. I've always had a presence online, but it wasn't my focus is to sponsor and sell online. And now, because of this situation we're in, I've had to readjust and relearn. And I find my days now learning, figuring things out, feeding my brain with, I'm listening to a lot of online classes while I'm doing things in my office. I'm trying to learn new things. And I mean, I think that's what all of us need to do constantly, especially if we're going to keep on keeping on and have a business of 21 years like I've had. It's all about facing the problem and figuring out what to do about it and adjusting to it, and then just move on from there.
Mm-hmm. And so your business day looks very different today than it did 20 years ago.
Oh,
or does it?
My business looks way different now than it did 20 years ago. I mean, 20 years ago, Joni, I was traveling every single week to a different city doing trade shows. And
because we didn't have today's technology, we actually had to go there.
We had to go
meet
there.
New people, and now we don't have to go there to meet new people.
No, we don't. But I find that it's still a challenge to figure out a way to meet new people in this environment, especially when you can't go out. I mean, we're still in stage 1 of lockdown here. So a lot of the country's not, but we still are in Washington State. In fact, we just got the message yesterday that it really hit me hard when our governor said we're not going to stage 2. And I'm like, I was so looking forward to being able to get out more and to, get with people more. But with that being said, I mean, I'm just doing what I wowing is a big part of business. Wowing is a big part of our business.
Come here.
And so the wowing part is you can wow online. It's not the same. It's not the same. It is a really good way, but it's not the same as that person to person looking in your eye contact. And so I've wowed. I've gone to the grocery store with my mask on. I've gone to the Ace. Hi, you. Who is that? Is that Ben? Oh, okay. I also have gone to the Ace Hardware store and wowed a customer and sold product to her, even though, I mean, I can't touch her. And I had my mask on and she had her mask on, but we still had this conversation because I had my stripes on. And she asked me about it. I didn't have gloves on, so she saw my stripes. And I had my eye makeup done. I did a live video the other day to my team, and I said, you guys, it's imperative for you and your business now. If you're going to go out, we're used to wowing with our lips, right? But if we have a mask on, we can't do that. So what do we wow with? We wow with our eye makeup. That's what we wow with. So when you go out now, when I go out, I make sure that my eye makeup is impeccable, and it's makeup that it's not just like natural looking makeup, because I want my makeup to really show. Like today, I mean, I'm wearing more glamour makeup every single day now, because that is what's wowing people, because I can still rub my eyes and show people that it doesn't come off. So that's what I mean by adjusting. Like, we always have to learn how to adjust and do our business different. And so that's what I'm finding that I'm doing these days, is just figuring out how to do my business different and still keep on keeping on.
Which you are, of course, very famous in the Cine worlds for doing. Keep on keeping on. And Jeri, I just want to take a moment and apologize for the interruption. Our house is disbanding and all the boys are flying off to different areas today. And one of them just came in and gave me some pictures that were taken over the course of this weekend as a gift. So I'm sorry that that happened.
That's all right. But see, this is what it is. Home-based business is about having family, and about taking those little moments where he wanted to say goodbye to you. That's important. And so it's fine. I'm fine with it. And we all have those things, especially now we're working at home. We always work at home, but we find that now so many more people are working at home, and it's been a big adjustment for people. And
so speaking of that, can you give us your, top, and we don't have to put a number on it, but give us your top tips for new distributors?
Well, I think realism and not hyping anything is really important. And so for a new distributor, the money is there. The money can be there. The money is, if you want to work this business, it's not hard work. I shouldn't say that. It's not, well, yeah, it's simple, but it's still work. And I think that new distributors need to understand that the average distributor in any direct selling company, it takes about 2 to 5 years for a person to build a sustainable business where you actually have a business that's making money, and that you've got somebody just try to call me. I'm getting spam calls like crazy now. I don't know if you are, but I'm getting tons of them. So it takes about 2 to 5 years for a distributor. So I tell my people that it's not instant. Can it be? Absolutely, for some people, but that's a little, like less than 1% of the people that are in direct sales, that it's an instant success. It's just doing the work every day, being consistent every day. And then the other thing is plugging in. Plugging in is super important, to plugging into the systems, plugging into the company trainings, plugging into your team trainings, plugging into you teaching yourself and researching yourself and learning what is available for you and feeding your brain. And it's your choice whether you do that or not. But personal growth is such a big part of this business, because when you start out, you don't know that you don't know. And then when you start to grow, then you realize that you don't know everything, and you find out the things that you don't know. And it's just a matter of, starting here and then moving and growing and moving and growing, and taking in all those things that are available and utilizing all those things that are available to you, and then stepping out yourself and doing the work. And so I had three things written down. The other thing was reinvesting the money that you make when you're first new distributor, because I've seen so much time over these years. I've seen so many distributors that are new, and they're so excited about making sales, and they start making money, but then they take that money and they start spending it right away. And what we need to do is let them know and teach them that this is a business. So you have to treat it like a business. And when you own a business, let's say you had a boutique and you made sales, well, you couldn't take that money that was in your cash register and just go spend it on something that you want for yourself. As a business owner, that you need to take that money that you make and you have to reinvest it. You have to reinvest it into inventory. You have to reinvest it into all those things that would make that box store work. The same thing goes for us. We as distributors, we need to reinvest, as especially new distributors, so that you have working money, that you have working capital, that you have money that you can build up your inventory, and that you can have money to spend for the events. Like right now we're doing virtual events, like Pit Stop's coming up, but that's a virtual event, but it still costs money. So that money that you make as a new distributor, and especially we have a lot of new distributors right now, that money, save it. Take a little bit if you need to, and pay a little bit out toward a bill, but take the majority right now that you're making right now as a new distributor and reinvest it into your business. And then at a point, and you have a system for that, I'm not going to get into that, but at a point you will know that you can take a little bit more. And as you make more money, you can take a little bit more and start spending it on yourself, and maybe paying a bill or paying a credit card off or things like that. But those are the things that I would suggest for new distributors.
So I just want to follow up with a couple points that you make. We're still, Jeri, one of the very few companies left in the marketplace that allow our distributors to build their own little store in their home. Most of the newer companies don't do that, because those companies, of course, want to control the end consumer. And that was the intent from the very beginning. However, we allow our distributors to build up their own store, so that if they are having a face-to-face interaction, they have the opportunity to make more money, because we all know that women and men are impulse buyers when they can touch, smell, and feel products. So if they know they can take it home with them right then and there, and I'll take that color, and this one, and that one's pretty, I'll take that too. Mm-hmm. That's the intent of it. It's not because we're old-fashioned. It's just because, we're downright smart as it applies to human nature. You make more money. Now, we don't have to invest in our inventory, because we have all the systems those, other companies have, where that you can just make the sale and have the company pack up the order and send it directly to your end consumer, your customer. We can do that, but we give you more of an opportunity to be more entrepreneurial and creative in the way that you sell the products, other than just simply our system. We allow you to use your system.
Right, and I like that. It's more balanced.
Yeah.
And you're all about balance, and I'm all about balance. It's more balanced if you have the choice to whether you carry the product yourself. I carry product myself. I've always carried it, but that's the way I've always done my business. But do I use the system that SeneGence has given us? Yes, I do. I use demo Dropship. I use the sampling system and those kind of things that SeneGence has given us. I use everything. That's what I mean, plug into it all. But even if you're doing demos online, and if you're doing virtual, you have to have products to be able to show people, right? And that's why, as a new distributor, you've got to have a few things to start with. And it's difficult. Any company, you can't open the doors if you don't have anything to sell. And so you've got to have at least a little bit there in order to show people. And my suggestion is, when I'm talking to a new distributor, is buy the things for yourself. Buy the skincare, start using it yourself, because if you don't use the product yourself, you'll never know how to even talk about it. You won't even mention it because you don't know anything about it. So your comfort zone will keep you from even mentioning the product because you don't know anything about it. But once you've used the detox mask, or once you've used the resurfacer, or once you've used the lip volumizer and all those products, amazing products that we have, then you're like, oh my gosh. And the excitement that comes out of your voice, and the excitement that comes through the screen or comes through face to face, is way, way, way different than if you were to just say, oh, and this is lip plumper, and or this in the book, this is lip plumper, and it rebuilds your collagen in your lips. That's way, way different than actually having a personal testimony. And so that's another big thing for me with new distributors, is get the product, start using it yourself. And if you can't build up inventory, it's okay right now, because you're using the products, because then you'll know how good they are, and you'll be able to talk about them, and you'll be able to sell them to others. So
those are all great tips, Jeri, for new distributors. I mean, it's great to get people in the right mindset and make them realize that they really do have within their hands the opportunity to build a prosperous business as large as they can dream and are willing to work towards. Yes. So what kind of tips do you have for those who are excited about building, are doing well in their personal sales, and who desire to be a leader like you?
Well, it all begins, you can't be a leader unless people are willing to follow you.
Good point.
And, there's two ways of being a leader. In our company, you can have a title which says that you're a leader in the company, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're a leader, right? A leader is someone that people believe in. They trust you, and they know that you have a high standard, and that you're willing to do the work to show them, and not just say what to do, but to do it yourself. If you're willing to be a leader in that way, and I mean, I don't achieve everything, but I'm working. I'm showing my team that you've got to be consistent, and you've got to be persistent in what you're doing. And for a leader does that. They're an example, but they also are an inspiration. They are someone that can inspire people, and to respond to problems in positive ways, and give hope and encouragement. To me, those are all part of being a leader. And you don't just necessarily fall into it. And be good at it. That's what I mean. You don't necessarily just start being a good leader. It takes time, and it takes falling, and it takes making mistakes, and realizing, you go as you grow in business, and you go and you grow as a leader too. And no one is perfect. And I've been a leader in my team for a long time, but do I do everything right? No. Could I be better? Yeah. Am I learning? Yes. And at the same time, because my team looks up to me, I need to take that responsibility very seriously, and have integrity in everything that I do and say, which is probably the most important thing, is integrity. If you're going to say you're a leader, or if you want to be a leader, you have to you have to be the example and live in integrity.
Napoleon Hill says that nothing is worth building unless built upon truth, because frankly, nothing will stand the test of time unless built on truth. And if you think about that, that applies to, you know, everything you do. Nothing will stand the test of time because untruths crumble your whatever the effort is. If it's not a true equation, then you can't apply it to a certain outcome. If it's not a win-win, if it's not every single person who's involved in putting whatever it is together you're supposed to put together, if it's not truthfully beneficial to every one of them, there will be a lapse and it will collapse over time. It's kind of like society. If, you know, society isn't built upon truth and everybody is, you know, does their fair part and gets their fair share, then you got problems. Same thing applies to a business. Nothing stands the test of time unless built upon truth. And that was one of our I know, Jeri, you know this, one of our absolute core necessities for virtually everything we've built in the company. The products had to perform.
Yes.
They have to perform on their own without the, you know, fancy sales ability of any single individual. You had to be able to give this product to someone and say, put it on like this, use it like this, and this is what the outcome is going to be.
Yes.
And that's it. And if it didn't do that, then it doesn't stand the test of time. So what's the point? And the business practices that we follow and the business tools that we have, use it this way, it will do this.
Yeah.
And if not, what's the point of doing it? It's just a waste of time. And of course, the words you say, the intentions you have towards other people, same thing. If it's not, you know, truthful and heartfelt and isn't filled with intentions for all involved, it's going to crumble. So I think that even today, we you know, that's our test. Does this hold up? You know, is it built on truth? And we've together, Jeri, been through, you know, tough times.
Yes.
Throughout these 21 years, but we hung in there because regardless of what the conversation was, you know, in the marketplace, in the public, if you know that at the core of it, there is truth, then you know no matter what someone throws at you, you're going to make it.
Exactly.
That's what happened to our company. And that's why when people, I'm sure they ask you, you know, what's the secret of the company? Well, we're so solid. Every step of the way, we continue to build on truth. There's nothing you can throw at us.
No, I say that. I say because we have products that work. Like, bottom line, as far as a company goes, why would I join you, or why can you be proud to be part of this company? There's a lot of reasons, but the basic reason is we have products that actually do what they say they're going to do. And we don't have to hype it. We don't have to trick people into buying our products. And the career does what we say it will do. It will do as long as you do your part. You have to do the work, but it's all there for you. It's all lined up. So that's what I mean about integrity. If there's integrity in you guys as a company, the company has integrity, and we as individual distributors need to have integrity, and we as team leaders need to have integrity, so that the culture of our company continues to be built on integrity. And it begins with us. It begins with every single person that's a distributor. So and I've seen them come and go, Joni, as you. There's a lot of distributors that have come and gone over the years that they did not live in integrity at all. Their intent was not to be integral, and they were there for a little while, and then they're gone. They almost leave usually by themselves, because they realize that they're not going to really get much farther or get anywhere in the company, because the other distributors that see right through it, they see that for what it is. Because I feel really blessed as a distributor that we have a team, and that we have and not just my team, but other teams that are built on integrity. And so that's what creates that huge culture of integrity that we have. Is there somebody that will come in and not have integrity? Yes. They don't stay long, but that's the world too. You know, there's always people in the world that don't have integrity, and they sort of sneak into different organizations. But we just stand on truth, and I stand on truth. I stand on truth as a leader for my team, and you stand on truth as being the head of the company.
Well, well, I'm glad you've been by my side these 21 years. You know, I love you. I'm grateful to you. I respect you. And I know that you've changed thousands and thousands and thousands of women's lives, and you still impact them today, along with your girlfriend Jane and Andrea, who I see are on the thread. Hi, girls. Good to see you. And Jeri, we're going to hope that Washington isn't under stage 1 that much longer. I'm in Oklahoma right now, and as you can see, as I said, we're disbanding. People are flying back to New York and LA and Missouri, and our other family left towards California this morning. So
lucky, you're blessed that you get to do that, and I can't wait. I'm seriously, I can't wait. I can't wait to just I don't know what the normal is going to look like, but you know, whatever the new normal is, I can't wait to get back there.
And eventually we will be together once again. So thank you for spending another good portion of your day with us, sharing your wisdom with both seasoned and new distributors, Jeri. And distributors, if you have a chance, ping Jeri or text her or PM her or whatever you're doing so she doesn't feel so lonely in her lockdown.
Thank you.
Okay, love you, dear. Thank you so much.
Bye, everybody. Thanks.
Bye-bye.